Ronnie Coleman is remembered as one of the greatest bodybuilders in history. His journey from a simple childhood to global fame was shaped by discipline, faith, education, and personal sacrifice. Before championships were won and records were broken, a long period of learning, struggle, and character building was experienced. His early life developed his work ethic. His college life strengthened his discipline. His married life reflected his personal values and emotional challenges. Early life of Ronnie Coleman. Birth and family background. Ronald Dean Coleman was born on May 13, 1964, in Monroe, Louisiana, United States. He was raised in a modest household. His family belonged to the working class. Financial resources were limited, but strong moral values were taught. Respect, honesty, and discipline were emphasized from childhood. Hard work was considered a necessity, not a choice. His mother played an important role in shaping his character. Education and good behavior were strongly encouraged. Childhood environment. Ronnie Coleman grew up in a quiet and simple environment. His neighborhood was peaceful and community values were strong. From an early age, responsibility was expected. Household tasks were performed regularly. Independence was encouraged. Luxury was not available. Basic living was practiced. This developed gratitude and resilience. Material comfort was limited, but emotional support was strong. Early interest in sports. During childhood, interest in physical activity was developed naturally. He participated in football, basketball, baseball, track and field sports. Were used as an outlet for energy and self-expression. Coaches noticed his strength and coordination early. He was encouraged to train harder. However, bodybuilding was not yet considered. His focus remained on team sports. Development of discipline. A discipline was learned through routine and repetition. School attendance was regular. Homework was completed on time. Sports practice was taken seriously. Mistakes were corrected quickly. Excuses were discouraged. This strict structure later became the foundation of his professional career. High school. Ronnie attended Bastrop High School in Louisiana. He was known as a quiet and respectful student. Academics and sports were balanced carefully. Football became his main sport. He played as a linebacker. His strength and speed made him valuable to the team. Leadership qualities were observed by teachers and coaches. He graduated with good academic standing and athletic recognition. Moral and religious values. Faith played an important role in his early life. Church attendance was regular. Religious teachings were respected. These values shaped his attitude towards success and failure. Humility and gratitude were practiced even after fame. These values remained important. Part 2. College life of Ronnie Coleman. Admission to Grambling State University. High School. Ronnie Coleman joined Grambling State University in Louisiana. This institution was known for academic excellence and strong athletic programs. He was admitted on a football scholarship. His main objective was to complete higher education and support his family. Academic life at university. He studied accounting. This subject required focus, discipline, and analytical thinking. Courses included financial accounting, business law, economics, auditing, management. He attended classes regularly and maintained good grades. Education was taken seriously. Graduation was considered a priority. Balancing sports and studies. Balancing football and academics was challenging. Training sessions were intense. Travel schedules were demanding. Still, academic responsibilities were fulfilled. Time management skills were developed. Sleep was often limited, but consistency was maintained. This balance strengthened his mental endurance. Football career in college. Played as a linebacker for the Grambling State football team. His physical strength and defensive skills stood out. Team discipline was strict. Performance standards were high. He learned teamwork, leadership, and strategic thinking. Although he did not reach professional football, the experience shaped his mindset. Introduction to weight training. During college, he began serious weight training. Initially, weights were used only to improve football performance. Gradually, he discovered exceptional strength potential. Gym sessions became longer and more intense. Coaches and teammates noticed his rapid physical development. However, bodybuilding competitions were still not planned. Graduation and degree. 1989. Ronnie Coleman graduated with a bachelor degree in accounting. This achievement proved his commitment to education. It also provided career security outside sports. Few professional bodybuilders held strong academic backgrounds. This made him unique. Post-college employment. After graduation, he struggled to find accounting jobs due to limited opportunities. He joined the police department in Arlington, Texas. He worked as a police officer while training. This job provided stability and discipline, balancing law enforcement duties and bodybuilding. Training required extreme dedication. Part 3. Married life of Ronnie Coleman. Views on relationships. During his early career, Ronnie focused mainly on work and training. Personal relationships were given limited time. Bodybuilding demanded full dedication. Travel schedules were intense. Privacy was difficult to maintain. Marriage was delayed due to career priorities. First marriage. Ronnie Coleman and Vicky Gaddis. Ronnie Coleman married Vicky Gates in 1998. She was a professional bodybuilder and fitness competitor. Both shared interest in fitness and competition. This created strong initial bonding. They supported each other during competitions. Life during the first marriage. During this period, his bodybuilding career was at its peak. Multiple Mr. Olympia titles were won. Training schedules were extreme. Public appearances were frequent. Time for family life was limited. Stress levels were high, although mutual respect existed. Career pressure affected emotional balance. Divorce. After several years, their marriage ended in divorce. The separation was handled privately. No public conflicts were promoted. Both focused on their careers afterward. This phase was emotionally difficult. However, professionalism was maintained. Second marriage. Ronnie Coleman and Susan Williamson in 2016. Ronnie married Susan Williamson. This relationship developed after his retirement from professional bodybuilding. By this time, his priorities had changed. Health, family, and peace became more important. Family life and children. Ronnie and Susan have children together. Fatherhood became a central part of his life. He became more emotionally expressive. Family responsibilities were embraced. He often shares moments with his children publicly. Parenthood helped him find new purpose beyond bodybuilding. Support during health struggles. After retirement, Ronnie faced serious health problems. Multiple spine and joint surgeries were required. Mobility was reduced. Chronic pain was experienced. During this phase, family support became crucial. Susan played a major role in his recovery journey. Emotional encouragement and practical care were provided. This strengthened their bond. Married life in later years. In recent years, his married life has been focused on stability and peace. Public appearances are limited. Health management is prioritized. Family time is valued. Travel is planned carefully. His lifestyle is now calmer than during competitive years. Part 4. Influence of early and personal life on his career. Impact of early life. His childhood taught discipline, respect, humility, work ethic. These values supported long-term success. Impact of college life. His education taught time management, analytical thinking, responsibility, leadership. These skills helped him manage fame and finances. Impact of married life. His relationships taught emotional maturity, balance, patience, perspective. Epiral growth increased with age. Part 5. A personal philosophy formed through life stages from childhood to marriage. A clear philosophy developed. Work before comfort, discipline before desire, faith before ego, family before fame. This mindset defined his identity. The professional life of Ronnie Coleman before bodybuilding success was shaped by discipline, education, financial struggle, and public service. Long before championships were won and international fame was achieved, a demanding and structured career path was followed. That early professional journey created the physical strength, mental resilience, and ethical standards that later defined his dominance in bodybuilding. He was born into a working-class environment where financial comfort was limited and responsibility was emphasized from an early age. Education was considered essential, and effort was expected in every area of life. Academic performance and athletic participation were both encouraged. During his teenage years, focus was placed mainly on football and general fitness rather than bodybuilding. Strength training was used as a support tool for sports performance, not as a professional ambition. After completing high school, enrollment was completed at Grambling State University in Louisiana. A football scholarship was awarded, which allowed higher education to be pursued despite financial limitations. During university years, accounting was selected as a major subject. This decision reflected a practical mindset and a desire for long-term job security. Courses in finance, auditing, economics, and management were studied seriously. Academic responsibilities were fulfilled alongside demanding football training schedules. Time management skills were developed, and discipline was strengthened through constant pressure. Football participation at the university level required strict routines, early morning training, physical conditioning, and strategic preparation. Defensive skills were refined, teamwork was practiced, and leadership qualities were strengthened. Although professional football was not ultimately pursued, the structure of collegiate athletics provided valuable preparation for future competitive environments. Mental toughness, accountability, and persistence were reinforced daily. During university years, weight training became more important. Initially, it was used only to improve football performance. However, exceptional strength and rapid muscle development were noticed by coaches and teammates. Training sessions became longer and more intense. Progress was achieved quickly, even without specialized bodybuilding methods. Still, no professional bodybuilding plans were formed at that stage. Fitness was viewed as a tool for performance and health rather than a career. After graduation in 1989, a bachelor degree in accounting was obtained. This qualification provided technical knowledge in financial management and business systems. Graduation marked a major personal achievement, especially given his modest background. However, despite academic success, immediate employment in accounting proved difficult. Job opportunities were limited, competition was high, and professional networks were weak. Multiple applications were submitted and interviews were attended, yet stable accounting positions remained unavailable. Due to financial necessity, alternative employment had to be secured. A decision was made to join the police department in Arlington, Texas. This career choice was influenced by the desire for stable income, health benefits, and public service. Law enforcement training was completed and certification was achieved. Police work demanded strict discipline, ethical responsibility, emotional control, and physical readiness. These qualities aligned closely with his existing mindset. As a police officer, duties included patrolling neighborhoods, responding to emergencies, managing conflicts, and enforcing laws. Long shifts, night duties, and high-stress situations were common. Public safety responsibilities required calm decision-making and strong moral judgment. Trust from the community had to be maintained. Mistakes could carry serious consequences. Professionalism was essential at all times. Police work also required physical conditioning. Fitness standards had to be maintained. Regular training was necessary to remain operationally effective. Strength, endurance, and mobility were constantly tested. For this reason, gym training continued regularly even after graduation. Weightlifting remained a central part of daily life, although still not as a professional goal. Financially, the police salary provided stability but not luxury. Living expenses, training costs, and family responsibilities had to be balanced carefully. Overtime shifts were often taken to supplement income. Discipline in budgeting and spending was practiced. The accounting background helped in managing personal finances responsibly. While working full-time as a police officer, gym training became increasingly serious. Training sessions were conducted early in the morning or late at night, depending on work schedules. Fatigue was common, but consistency was maintained. Many colleagues noticed his unusual dedication to fitness. His physique began to stand out even among athletic officers. A major turning point occurred when he joined Metroflex Gym in Arlington, Texas. This gym was known for hardcore training culture and serious athletes. At this facility, he met Brian Dobson, the gym owner who recognized extraordinary genetic potential. Dobson offered free gym membership in exchange for competition participation. This opportunity reduced financial pressure and provided professional guidance. At that time, bodybuilding was still secondary to police work. Training was intensified, but law enforcement duties remained the primary occupation. Shifts were completed first. Gym sessions were scheduled around work. Competitions were approached cautiously. No immediate career change was planned. Security and responsibility were prioritized over risky ambitions. In 1990, participation in his first bodybuilding competition was encouraged. Preparation was conducted while continuing police duties. Diet planning, posing practice, and conditioning were managed alongside full-time work. This dual responsibility required extreme discipline. Sleep was often reduced. Social life was limited. Focus remained on performance and duty. The victory at Mr. Texas in 1990 changed perception. Confidence increased. External validation was received. Recognition from the bodybuilding community grew. However, even after this success, police work was not abandoned. Financial security and professional responsibility were considered more important than uncertain athletic prospects. For several years, dual careers were maintained. Daytime and night shifts were worked. Training was conducted daily. Competitions were attended during leave periods. Travel was planned carefully. Fatigue was constant, but motivation remained strong. This period reflected extraordinary commitment. Police supervisors and colleagues often supported his competitive activities. Flexibility was sometimes provided for competitions. Mutual respect developed. He remained known as a disciplined and reliable officer. No major professional misconduct was reported. Ethical standards were preserved despite increasing fame. During the early professional bodybuilding phase, income from competitions was limited. Sponsorships were minimal. Prize money was inconsistent. Therefore, police salary remained essential. Without that stable income, training expenses and living costs would have been difficult to manage. Law enforcement work effectively financed his athletic development. Psychologically, balancing two demanding careers required resilience. Stress management skills were developed. Emotional control learned in police work proved valuable on competitive stages. Crisis handling experience improved mental stability. Pressure tolerance increased. Public service also shaped his character. Exposure to social problems, crime, and human suffering created perspective. Fame and success were not taken for granted. Gratitude and humility were strengthened. These values later distinguished him from many competitors. Eventually, as professional bodybuilding success increased, financial independence became possible. Sponsorships grew. Prize earnings improved. Media attention expanded. Only then was police work gradually reduced. Retirement from law enforcement occurred after stable athletic income was secured. This transition was managed responsibly, not impulsively. The early professional career before bodybuilding stardom was therefore defined by structured education, unsuccessful job searches, disciplined public service, financial responsibility, and relentless self-improvement. Accounting education developed analytical thinking. Police work developed discipline and ethical strength. Gym training developed physical excellence. Together, these experiences created a balanced foundation. Without university education, financial literacy, and law enforcement discipline, long-term athletic success would have been difficult. Many competitors failed due to poor financial management, lack of structure, or weak character. His early professional journey prevented those failures. Before fame, he lived as a student, an employee, and a public servant. He learned to obey rules, manage stress, respect authority, and serve others. These lessons were later applied in competition preparation, business management, and public life. His story demonstrates that bodybuilding success was not created only in the gym. It was built through years of ordinary work, limited income, strict routines, and social responsibility. The police uniform and accounting textbooks were as important as dumbbells and protein shakes. The foundation of greatness was laid through discipline, patience, and ethical conduct long before trophies were raised. This early professional journey explains why his later dominance was sustainable and respected. It was supported by character, not only muscle. Ronnie Coleman training system, diet strategy, injury history, and recovery philosophy training system. How his legendary physique was built. Ronnie Coleman training system was based on extreme intensity, heavy compound movements, and consistent progression. Unlike many bodybuilders who focus mainly on moderate weights and high repetitions, he combined bodybuilding with powerlifting methods. His workouts were designed to build maximum muscle size and maximum strength at the same time. Core training. Philosophy. His training was guided by three main principles: maximum effort, progressive overload, perfect discipline. Every workout was treated as a serious mission. No session was skipped. No half effort was accepted. Weights were increased whenever possible. Records were constantly challenged. Weekly training split. A typical weekly routine followed this structured: A1 back and biceps day, 2 chest and triceps day, 3 legs day for shoulders and traps day 5. Arms and calves rest days were used only when recovery was necessary. Training frequency was high. Volume was intense. Heavy compound movements training focused heavily on compound exercises: squats, deadlifts, bench press, barbell rows, leg press, overhead press. These movements allowed maximum muscle recruitment. 4. Example squats were performed with more than 800 pounds. Deadlifts were lifted with similar weights. Bench press exceeded 500 pounds. These lifts were performed for multiple repetitions, not just single attempts. Repetition and set structure. Most exercises followed this pattern: 3 to 4 warm-up sets, 2 to 4 heavy working sets. Repetition ranges were usually 8 to 12 reps for hypertrophy, 6 to 8 reps for strength, sometimes 15 reps for endurance. Failure was often reached. Intensity techniques were used frequently: drop sets, forced reps, rest pause. Negative S-bend tolerance was extremely high. Training environment: most training was done at Metroflex gym. This gym had no luxury, no air conditioning, basic equipment, hardcore atmosphere. This environment supported mental toughness. Distractions were minimal, focus was maximum. Diet strategy: his muscle was fewer. Ronnie Coleman diet was built on high protein intake, high calories, and strict consistency. Eating was treated as seriously as training. Food was considered fuel. Meals were never skipped. Daily calorie intake: during peak competition years, daily calories ranged from 5,000 to 7,000 calories, sometimes more. During bulking phase, these calories were needed to support intense training and muscle growth. Protein consumption: protein intake was extremely high. Daily protein ranged from 300 to 400 grams. Sources included chicken breast, lean beef, fish, egg whites, protein shakes. Turkey protein was consumed every 3 hours. Muscle breakdown was prevented. Carbohydrate into carbohydrates were used for energy and recovery. Main sources: rice, potatoes, oats, pasta, sweet potatoes. Carbs were increased during heavy training phases. They were reduced slightly before competitions. Fat intake: healthy fats were included: olive oil, nuts, fish oil, egg yolks. These supported hormone production and joint health. Meal frequency: at 6 to 8 meals per day. A typical day included breakfast, mid-morning meal, lunch, pre-workout meal, post-workout shake, dinner. Late night meal: no long gaps were allowed. Supplement use: supplements supported nutrition. Common supplements included whey protein, creatine, multivitamins, glutamine, BCAAs, pre-workout formula. Schwever, food remained the priority. Supplements were used only to assist. Injury history: cost of extreme training. Ronnie Coleman's career was accompanied by serious physical damage. His heavy lifting style placed enormous stress on joints and spine. Over time, this led to severe injuries. Early warning signs: during his prime, pain was often ignored. Back stiffness, joint soreness, muscle strains. These were considered normal. Medical attention was often delayed. Training continued regardless. Major spinal injuries: later in his career, serious spinal problems developed. Disc herniation, nerve compression, spinal degeneration. These caused chronic pain and mobility issues. Multiple surgeries were required. Hip and joint damage: hip joints were damaged by heavy squats and leg presses. Knee problems developed. Shoulder wear increased. Elbows and wrists suffered stress. Joint cartilage was reduced. Surgical procedures: underwent many surgeries: spinal fusion surgeries, hip replacement, disc repair, nerve decompression. More than 10 major operations were performed. Recovery periods were long and painful. Mobility challenge: after retirement, walking became difficult. Use of walking aids was required. Muscle weakness occurred. Balance was affected. Daily activities became challenging. Despite this, motivation remained strong. Recovery philosophy: how he handled damage and healing. Recovery became a central focus after injuries. Earlier in his career, recovery was neglected. Later, it became essential. Rehabilitation, discipline, and physical therapy was followed strictly. Exercises were performed daily. Stretching was emphasized. Mobility work increased. Consistency remained strong. Mental recovery: chronic pain affected mental health. Depression risk existed. However, positivity was maintained. Motivational mindset was practiced. Faith and gratitude supported resilience. Nutrition for recovery diet was adjusted for healing. Anti-inflammatory foods were added. Omega-3 intake increased. Hydration was prioritized. Protein intake remained high. Medical collaboration. Dontics and therapists were consulted regularly. Treatment plans were followed. Impatience was avoided. Long-term health was prioritized. Acceptance and adaptation. Eventually, limitations were accepted. Training intensity was reduced, lightweight workouts were adopted, cardio and stretching increased, health became more important than size, training after retirement to competitive retirement, his training style changed, heavy squats and deadlifts were reduced. Machines replaced free weights, repetitions increased, weight loads decreased, joint safety became priority, fitness replaced competition. Lessons from his system from his career. Important lessons emerged. Extreme intensity builds results, but extreme intensity has consequence. Heavy lifting creates size, but heavy lifting damages joints. Discipline brings success, but balance preserves health. His career demonstrated both the power and danger of maximum effort. Influence on modern bodybuilding. Many modern athletes learned from his example. Some adopted his intensity, others avoided his injury risks. Training became more balanced, recovery gained importance. Sports science became more involved. His legacy shaped training philosophy worldwide. Ronnie Coleman. Life after retirement. After retiring from professional bodybuilding, a completely new chapter was entered by Ronnie Coleman. The period after competition was marked by physical pain, emotional struggle, personal reinvention, and renewed purpose. Unlike many athletes who disappear after retirement, he remained active in public life. He transformed from a competitive champion into a motivational figure, entrepreneur, mentor, and symbol of resilience. This phase of life required more courage than competition. It demanded patience, acceptance, and long-term discipline. 1. Transition from competition to retirement. End of competitive career. After winning multiple championships and dominating the sport for nearly a decade, competitive bodybuilding gradually became impossible due to physical damage. Chronic back pain, joint degeneration, nerve problems, mobility loss. These conditions made elite competition unsustainable. Retirement was not chosen willingly. It was forced by medical reality. Emotional impact. Leaving competition created emotional difficulty. Loss of routine was experienced. Identity crisis developed. Motivation was challenged. For many years, his identity had been defined by competition. Letting go was psychologically painful. Acceptance process. Gradually, acceptance was developed. Medical advice was respected. Long-term health was prioritized. New life goals were formed. This transition required maturity and emotional strength. 2. Physical decline and medical struggles. Development of severe injuries after retirement. Accumulated injuries became more visible. Spinal discs collapsed. Nerve compression increased. Hip joints deteriorated. Muscle imbalance developed. Daily pain became constant. Multiple surgeries over the years. Many major surgeries were performed. Spinal fusion operations. Disc repair procedures. Hip replacement surgeries. Nerve decompression treatments. More than 10 major procedures were required. Each surgery involved long recovery periods, temporary loss of mobility at certain stages. Walking became impossible. Wheelchair support was required. Walking aids were used. Balance was affected. Simple activities became challenging. This period was emotionally difficult. 3. Rehabilitation and physical recovery. Comment to physiotherapy ratio became a full-time responsibility. Daily therapy sessions were followed. Stretching routines were practiced. Strength rebuilding was attempted. Mobility exercises were repeated. Consistency remained strong. Pain management. Chronic pain was managed carefully. Medication was monitored. Alternative therapies were explored. Massage and hydrotherapy were used. Addiction risks were avoided. Self-control was maintained. Slow improvement. Recovery was gradual. Small progress was celebrated. Setbacks were accepted. Patience was practiced. Walking ability improved slowly. Muscle control returned partially. 4. Psychological and emotional adjustment. Facing mental challenges. Long-term pain affected mental health. Depression risk increased. Frustration developed. Fear of dependency appeared. These emotions were handled privately. Positive mindset development. Motivation was rebuilt through gratitude practice, faith, family support. Public encouragement. Optimism was consciously maintained. Identity redefinition stopped defining himself only as a champion. New identities were accepted: mentor, speaker, entrepreneur, role model. This reduced emotional dependence on past glory. 5. Family life after retirement increased family involvement after retirement. More time was spent with family. Parenting responsibilities increased. Emotional availability improved. Domestic life became central. Family became a major source of strength. Support during illness, during surgeries and recovery. Family support was crucial. Transportation was provided. Medical care was assisted. Emotional encouragement was offered. This strengthened relationships. Balance between public and private life. Greater effort was made to protect privacy. Public exposure was controlled. Personal peace became priority. 6. Continued connection with bodybuilding, fitness expos and events. 7. After retirement, he remained active in bodybuilding events, fitness expos, seminars, guest appearances, award ceremonies. Fans continued to admire him. Mentoring young athletes. Advice was provided to younger competitors. Training discipline was emphasized. Health risks were discussed. Long-term planning was encouraged. His experience became valuable guidance. Hall of Fame recognition. Retirement led to formal recognition. He was honored globally. Legacy status was confirmed. 7. Business activities after retirement. Supplement brand development. He launched his own supplement company. Products included protein powders, PRE workout formulas, vitamins, recovery supplements. Quality control was emphasized. Brand reputation was protected. Merchandise and licensing. Clothing lines and branded products were expanded. Online platforms were used. Global distribution developed. Passive income increased. Financial stability. Bonus income replaced competition earnings. Investments were diversified. Financial independence was maintained. 8. Media presence and public images. Social media activated. Digital platforms became important. Motivational posts were shared. Training videos were uploaded. Health updates were provided. Fans remained connected. Documentary and interviews. Several documentaries and interviews were produced. Life story was shared. Struggles were explained honestly. Transparency increased public respect. Motivational speaking. Became a motivational speaker. Topics included resilience, discipline, sacrifice, faith, perseverance. Audience were inspired by his journey. 9. Life philosophy after retirement. Shift in prioritizelia. Prioritization. Trophies, records. Later priority. Health, family, peace. Legacy. Shift brought emotional stability. Acceptance of limitation. Physical limitations were accepted. Ego is controlled. Self-compassion increased. Gratitude and reflection. Past success was appreciated. Supporters were acknowledged. Humility deepened. 10. Training in retirement years. Modified workout style. Heavy lifting was reduced. Machines were preferred. Light weights were used. High repetitions were adopted. Joint protection became priority. Focus on mobility. Stretching became essential. Yoga-based movements were used. Balance training was practiced. Functional fitness replaced size building. Consistency maintained despite limitations. Training never stopped. Fitness remained part of identity. 11. Public advocacy for health awareness. Warning against overtraining. Openly discussed injury risks. Young athletes were warned. Extreme lifting was discouraged. Smart training was promoted. Promotion of recovery. Nutrition, rehabilitation, medical checkups. These were emphasized. This changed industry attitudes. Mental health awareness. Psychological struggles were acknowledged. Stigma was reduced. Open discussion was encouraged. 12. Influence on fans after retirement. Symbol of resilience. Ability to smile despite pain inspired millions. He became a symbol of courage. Weakness was transformed into strength. Continued motivation. Fans continued training because of his example. His slogans remained influential. Hope was reinforced. Global respect increased after retirement. Character became more admired than muscles. 13. Challenges of aging. Physical aging effects. Joint stiffness increased. Recovery slowed. Energy levels declined. Medical supervision increased. Lifestyle adjustments. Travel was reduced. Rest increased. Diet was adjusted. Stress was minimized. Acceptance of aging was accepted with dignity. No denial was practiced. Wisdom replaced ambition. 14. Spiritual and personal growth deepening faith. Spiritual beliefs strengthened, prayer and reflection increased, inner peace developed, self-reflection, past mistakes were analyzed, lessons were internalized. Personal growth continued, emotional maturity increased, forgiveness improved, compassion deepened. 15. Legacy building. In later years, educational projects, training guides were developed, online courses were supported, youth programs were encouraged. Historical documentation, career achievements were preserved, archives were created, books and documentaries were supported, long-term influentials, methods and philosophy remained studied. His impact continues across generations. 16. Current life status. Daily routine. A typical day include slight exercise, therapy, family time, business management, media interaction. Balance is maintained. Ongoing medical regular checkups are conducted, preventive treatment is followed, health remains priority, future goals continued, motivation work, business expansion, youth mentorship, health maintenance. His goals guide current life. 17. Lessons. From his post-retirement life. From this phase, major lessons emerged. Strength is not only physical, pain does not end. Purpose adaptation ensures survival. Character defines legacy, hope sustains life. These principles now define his image.